No,
It
very good.
works.
Thanks for using your lunch break to join us.
Oh, it's no problem. No problem at all.
Okay, it's about halfway to getting there. All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. We're so excited to share this amazing training with you. I've got Marsha Hopper here with me, who is one of my personally enrolled ladies, and also Caitlin English, who is in Marsha's downline. And today we're going to be talking about bingo parties, which is, and each of us have done them in a different way. So we're all going to be sharing like different ways that you can use them. So welcome, ladies. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
And guys, Caitlin is joining us during her lunch hour, which is so sweet of her, in her car. And then Marsha's joining us in her RV because she just travels the world in her RV, which is so cool.
Yeah, super jealous of that.
I know, it's so cool. So we're going to talk about, well, first of all, can you explain, so this kind of idea originated from Caitlin, who passed it on to Marsha, who passed it on to me. And that's kind of how it goes in our team, like everybody sharing their knowledge and wisdom, and then we all kind of tweak it and make it our own. So, so Caitlin, will you kind of share how this idea came about and what a bingo party even is?
Absolutely. So I personally have not done it as a party yet, but I do it in my VIP group. Probably, it's pretty popular. It started out like once every couple of months, and now the ladies request it like once monthly because we have a blast when we do it. So I do game night in my group every single week on Thursdays like clockwork. But I found that it was a lot more fun and more interactive with my VIPs if I went live and did it. Yeah. So, and I love all the games that are out there, but I wanted something that got them more engaged for a longer period of time than just the guess how many nails and those, you know, that we generally have, which those are fun for quick little games, but my game night, I wanted some meat to it. Yeah. So I found a bingo board and I was like, okay, how can I make this live? Because I had done it once when it wasn't, and I just kind of called numbers in the comments and I felt very detached. So I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? So I decided to put the bingo board up in the morning of game day. And then they had to like just pick any 5 numbers, 1 through 25, which is what was on the game board. Didn't matter. They didn't have to be a rhyme or reason or from a specific line, just any 5 numbers. Okay. And then they had to comment them. And so I write those down. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to take 25 sets that I have in my inventory, 25 different sets that don't really move a whole lot because people don't, let's face it, the pictures online are just not quite as pretty and they don't do the justice to those sets. So I went ahead and put sticky notes on the front of all 25, numbered 1 through 25, put them in a bag, and I went live. And so then I would pull the set out of the bag, and about midday, I had announced the rules of the game. They had to be present during the live, you know, they had to be the first to comment bingo if all their numbers have been called, etc. But then I also announced that any set that I show during the live is available for sale for $10, $9, whatever you want to do. And so all they had to do was comment sold and the number on the sticky note. And so I just kind of periodically reminded them throughout the game. And every time I've done it, I've managed to sell at least a couple $100 in inventory, almost every single time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how often, so you said you do it like once a month, or is it a little more now?
Now I'm probably still about the once a month. I don't want to like overdo it, and I kind of want it to remain that, you know, that excitement. And if I'm doing it weekly, I feel like the excitement kind of just flutters out. So I do it about once a month. Sometimes it'll be every other month if there's a lot going on with launches and stuff. We'll do different game nights that I don't always have to be live, but they really love when I do that. And ironically, the night before Marsha messaged me, or a couple nights before, I had done it for the first time since January, and I couldn't believe it had been that long. But again, sold, I think, $225 in inventory.
Wow, that's great. I mean, you basically, it sounds like you almost bonus qualify when you do a bingo party.
Yeah, almost always. And I
or a
love that
bingo
some of
live
these,
or whatever you want to call it.
right,
Mhm.
right. But I love that some of these ladies have taken it and spun it into a like a live party. That is so cool. And so I'm definitely going to be implementing that here before too long.
Yeah, I love that you do. I mean, I think once a month is a great amount because it doesn't feel like too much of a time commitment.
Right.
But then you're still having that live presence with your VIPs, which is so important
Yeah.
for them to like really connect with you. And then also it boosts the algorithm anytime you go live in your VIP
Okay.
group.
Yeah.
It's so important. So that's amazing. Marsha, what has been your experience with taking what Caitlin shared with you and then your own twist to it?
So Caitlin did a training in our team group about the bingo parties or bingo live in her VIP group, and I took it and turned it into doing an actual party. So I did it once in my VIP group and explained that this is how I'm going to start doing my parties.
Mhm.
And I got several of my VIPs who said, hey, I want to have a party if it's going to be this live and this fun.
Yeah.
So I've started doing it as that's my party method.
Yeah.
I don't do the 5-day or 1-hour Facebook groups anymore. And I actually have one coming up this weekend. So I create a Facebook event, a private event, and I add my hostess, and then she invites her friends to this private event where I just go live in the event. So I do a couple of posts the 2 or 3 days before the event, just some basic information about what Color Street is in case some of her friends haven't tried them yet.
Mhm.
But then I don't offer any samples or anything. We just say we're going to play bingo. And so I do the same kind of thing. And so we just use the bag, like Caitlin said, use the bag. And then I put the sets in the bag with sticky notes. And I make sure that my sets have a mixture of types so I can talk about them. So I talk about, okay, this is a glitter, ombre glitter. If you have number 13, mark it off of your list. You know, everybody comments, you know, there are 5 numbers. And then I can talk about the petite sets and the solid sets and the French sets. And so I make sure that I have a mixture of the sets in my bingo board. And then, you know, I just talk about them during the party and I explain, you know, the hostess's link is here in the event for you to place an order. If you have questions, you know, people are commenting on the questions, etc. So again, it's just a way to show the sets in person and interact. Make sure that the hostess is on there. She's commenting and interacting with her friends. And then really, usually it's 30, maybe 45 minutes. I usually play the bingo once. One person wins bingo, and then, you know, I have some kind of a small prize. The last party I did, the prize was a free set with her if she purchased a buy 3 get 1 free.
I
So
love that.
That's what the prize was. So it helped the hostess get, you know, another order that she may or may not have. And then I did it again. We did another round of bingo because it only been about 30 minutes and people were interacting and wanted to do it again. So I said, all right, let's just start over. You have the same numbers. I put all the sets back in the bag and we did it again.
Nice. Nice. So you had them keep the same numbers.
I did.
You
I
did
had
it
them keep the
second
same
time.
numbers.
Okay, that's
And I
smart.
had a couple of people hop on. We were early in the event or early in the party. I had to keep a couple people hop on. I could see that so-and-so had joined and I didn't have numbers chosen for them. So I just kind of paused and commented to them and said, hey, Jane, I see you just joined the party. Glad you're here. Hey, I don't have numbers for you. If you want to go ahead and pick 5 numbers real quick, 1 to 25, you can join in. And so she just comment her 5 numbers. I say, okay, we've already done this number and this number, and then just kept going.
Yeah, that's what I do when people join late. It's just I give them the option. If we're smack in the middle and I'm like 5, 6 sets already pulled, I'll say, hey, if you stick around, you can join for the next round. You know, go ahead and pick your 5 numbers. And when we start over, because I'll do usually 3 or 4 rounds in mine when I do it for game night. But yeah, and I love the idea that you're picking like one of every kind of set or multiple, you know, of each kind. But let me ask this: are you still offering a sale price on sets then, or are you just doing it to show off and play a game?
I was just doing, because I was doing it as a party, I was just showing the sets.
I love
and
that.
And then having them order from the hostess link.
Very smart.
So they weren't ordering from, let me ask both of you, were they ordering from your stock or were you having them order through a link like online?
For mine, I did stock,
Okay.
but that was just in my
For
VIP.
mine, the time I did it in my VIP group, I did stock, but when I'm doing it as a party, I don't. I do it just to show the sets and have them order from the hostesses link.
Okay. Well, so see, there's so many different ways that you can go about it. So I'm going to share kind of what I did and my spin of it, and then we'll just kind of go into detail on even more. So what I did was I decided to, so basically Caitlin does this as lives in her VIP group. Then Marsha took it and made it just like a party. And then I took it and made it a launch party for one of my new stylists because she was wanting a different approach. She'd never really loved like just the traditional Facebook parties. And she was a more personable person and, you know, really liked that kind of face-to-face connection. So I was like, well, what if let's do a bingo party for you. So what I did was I first did one myself in my VIP group. And then she's local to me. So I was like, come over and we'll do it together. Like, I'm like, you can go live with me and then I'll go live with you. Now, if she wasn't local, you could easily do something like we're doing right now, where you've got a live Zoom with, you know, split pictures, or you can use Be Live TV where they can see you and your new stylist. And
also do a Facebook room.
Oh, true. Good point. Yeah. So it was fun because, you know, I tested it out in my VIP group first, and that was really fun. And then she did it. And what we did was, so I wanted to use my wheel, and I'm not sure if you guys use the wheel, Marsha or Caitlin.
I
used mine.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. The one I did the other night, actually, I did bingo live with a spin, and I did prizes on the wheel. And so every set they purchased, they also got a spin on the prize wheel at the end. And so normally I'll offer my sets at like $9 during that bingo live, but for that one specifically, I did 10. And that way I'm really not, I mean, there was no B3G1. So if they buy 4 sets, they spent the exact same they would have if they bought a B3G1 special. So it really wasn't any money out of my pocket extra. Yeah. And so I did at the very end, I just tallied it up. And at the very end, everybody who purchased a set got to spin the wheel for each set for a prize.
Okay. So when your ladies got a bingo, what did they get? Because mine got to spin the wheel.
I like that. I just pick like a prize, and that's the prize for the night. Or I have like a ginormous prize bin. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Yeah. And so I'll like Facebook call them and show them my bin and let them just pick. So either way.
Yeah, I mean, see, again, there's so many different ways you can do this.
Yeah, I did when they won the bingo, they got to spin, and that's what determined them.
Perfect. I love that.
So let me share some of the things, and Marsha helped me come up with some of these, because I was like, I gotta, you know, come up with some ideas for like a new stylist, something that a new stylist could offer. And so we did like, this one's 10% off your order. This one's $1 off each set. This one is free accent nails, you know, the testers, free tax and shipping. And then $5 off a buy 3 get 1. So all of these are promoting them to order. Do you see how the prizes are all, except for the free accent nails? But I feel like, you know, if you're like me, you send those out anyways as thank you. Yeah. So those were the main, I think those were the ones, and then I just repeated it. I just did those twice on this wheel.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So I think there were 12 spots on here. And so there were, you know, those options so that it's promoting them to order. And we said you had 24 hours to take advantage of your prize. So you kind of had to do it. And we encouraged them to use the link, you know, for this new stylist. And so again, that's promoting like orders for your new stylist, right?
Yeah.
And so that went really well, and it was so fun. We had a great time, like, and people did hop on late, you know? I think that's the thing is like, even if there's only 2 people watching, which at the beginning of this new stylist live, it was only like a couple people, but they were playing and she got some orders from it. So even if you're like, oh my gosh, there's only like 2 people on or 1 person on and it's my mom. Well, her mom actually happened to hop on and did end up ordering because they're seeing the nails. So like, we put the number on the back.
Okay, yeah.
And then we would go through and like, oh, this one's this, and it's so cute and fun and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So she kind of could talk about the different ones. And we used the ones from her kit. So I said, bring your kit over. You're going to show them what's in your kit. And so that's kind of was my spin to help like a new stylist try this out. So that's something anyone
So did you make,
could do.
did you make your bingo board if a new stylist, you know, she only had at the time 13 sets.
Yes.
If she didn't have any extras that she'd already purchased personally, did you make the board just 12 or
yes,
a
we made
grid?
it, I'm so glad you asked that so I could clarify. Yes, we only made it be 12. So I was trying to figure out a way to configure it for a new stylist. So we only made it be 12. So they only picked 4 numbers.
Okay.
And we were literally flying by the seat of our pants. And so we didn't do hardly any, we didn't have them pick numbers in advance. We just, when they got on, we were like, hey, comment below with your 4 numbers, 1 through 12. And so then they would, and so it was fun because we could watch and we'd be like, oh my gosh, Amy, that was one of your numbers, you know? So we could see their numbers and we'd be like cheering them on. And then we did end up doing 2 rounds because like they were kind of having fun and like they they wanted to do it again. They wanted to spin again, which only I feel like promoted more sales because then they got, you know, there was one that got like, if they're getting 2 of these, then they're like, oh, I got to take advantage of these. You know, I only have 24 hours. And then you message them and say like, hey, here's your, you know, I think we told them to message us, but I think it's probably better for you to message them so that you can be proactive about it. But yeah, so that's that was my take on it to make it like a new stylist launch party in her brand new VIP group. So that was really fun.
I think it's cool too because you're using the kit, and so you're almost also being like, look what you can get if you sign up. All these pretty new sets, you know. So it's kind of like a live unboxing tied with a launch party, tied with a promoting to potential new stylists. So I really love that idea. Definitely,
because they're getting to see it all in person. Like you've got all these new people that you kind of add to a group or invite to a group, and then they're like, what even is this? But if you start with like this launch party that's like, this is what it is and these are what it is, and of course, and we did do an application. And Marcia, didn't you say you do that too?
A lot of times at the beginning of the party, when my party starts, I'm conveniently finishing up my application. You know, hey, let me just finish putting this set on. So I'm doing the last 2 nails or something of a set right at the beginning of the party while people are joining in.
Yeah, and I should clarify, it wasn't a full set. We just put on an accent nail.
Yeah,
we were like, hey, here's one of the twosies that came in her kit. This is how it works, and we just put it on her finger and explained like, okay, you got to peel it off and do that. So it's a really quick mini tutorial while people are hopping on. I think that's a great way to start it.
Definitely.
And then jump into the bingo game.
See, and I am like one of those that I want to try all the sets, but I also am like, they last for so long and they're so pretty. I just want to leave them on as long as I can. So I have a hard time like changing. I guess I could just remove one nail with a nail clip and a cotton ball, but I have a hard time changing just to apply. So I made a quick video of like me applying one strip, and I usually shared that, but I need to just get better about like sucking it up. It's just one nail strip. It's cheap. why not? And just do
Can
it.
act,
So
I
I
mean,
like the adventure.
if you have Tokyo Lights accent nails, like that looks
Add it to anything.
almost any Manny, so you can totally do
Maybe
that.
I got blue on. That might not. I got all the most definitely and all that on. So I don't know about
Yeah.
Tokyo, but I bet you that who can go wrong with most definitely? It's freaking gorgeous. So I'll just add more sparkle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I was going to say, let's talk about a little bit of the marketing that goes with that happens before the event, because you can't just be like, go live. And I mean, you can, it just is gonna, I feel like it will be better if you have a little bit of hype leading up to it. So will you share kind of what you did, and then I'll share what I did to create some hype before it started?
For sure. Marsha, do you want to go first or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, so with mine, obviously, like I said, it's a game night. So my ladies know game night is Thursday every single week. And so in the morning, when I do my good morning post or daily, morning post, I put a PS at the bottom, game night at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., be there, don't be square or whatever. And so then about 10:30, I will post the bingo board. And tell them, that's when I give them the little blurb. This is what we're going to be playing tonight. You know the drill now. Pick, comment any 5 numbers 1 through 25 from the board down below. Doesn't have to be from a specific row or line, just any 5 numbers. And then about 4:30, I will post the rules. And that's when I announce that I'm doing a sale, because I don't want to put the sale first thing that morning and then be like, oh God, here, another sale or whatever. So instead I wait, and that goes in with the rules, like bonus. So I'll announce all the rules, and then at the bottom, bonus, all sets that I show during the live are X dollars, no tax, shipping $1 per set, B3G1 does not apply. And I just kind of throw that little blurb in the bottom, and I have made a branded graphic of myself, like all excited, making a goofy face saying like bingo live. And so that's just an eye catcher. And then 5 minutes before, I throw up another one that I made that says bingo live starts in 5. And I tell them, just a quick little, like, 5 minutes till bingo live, go pee. I put the toilet emoji, but I got go pee, grab a glass of wine, grab your phone, and get your fast fingers ready. We're playing bingo live, and then they hop on, and I usually give a 5 to 7 minute window, and I let them know that. And I have also written down everybody that commented numbers earlier that day. And when I do the rules post, I also say, if you haven't picked your numbers yet, feel free to go back to my earlier post or comment them here, 5 numbers between 1 through 25. And so I write down each VIP's name and the 5 numbers they picked. So when they call bingo, I can actually look at my list and confirm that that's what they have. And so that's kind of just how I do it. I give a 5 to 7 minute grace window, for everybody to get joined in. During that time, I talk about the rules and the sale and how it'll work. And if I have any announcements to make or whatever, I throw that in there then. And that's about it.
All right, cool. What about you, Marsha?
So for mine, because it's a party and I've created a Facebook event, I usually try to create it 4 or 5 days before the actual event. So
Okay,
I'll post
hold
in
on.
that. Yeah.
So you do these parties in events only?
Yes.
Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know.
In a face, so I'm not creating yet another group.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to join another Facebook group.
Thank you, Marsha.
So I just create a Facebook event with a day and time. On the event, I create a banner, a cover photo for that event that has the hostess's picture on it. So people see that, they're like, oh, I know her.
Love that.
So so-and-so's, Emily's bingo party Thursday night. I put the date and time in the cover photo. And then I'll post 2 or 3 days.
Doesn't that sound like so much more fun than like Emily's nail party, or you know what I mean? Because you're like, I have to buy something. You know what I mean? If you think of yourself as a friend that gets invited to this, if someone's like Emily's bingo party, I'd be like, what is
bingo? I'm down, right?
I'm in.
Yes.
Right. But if it's like Emily's nail party, you're like, oh, this is one of those. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
already,
Yeah, they're like, oh,
already
I know
really
her. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
her. You know, I know that person. It sounds like fun. I want to come. And then in the description, you know, I put that no purchase necessary to participate, or even to win. So I explain right in the description of the event. And then for the 2 or 3 days before the event, I do post, you know, an application video, just some basic information about what Color Street is, and a few nail fees. So the different kinds, so people can see pictures on real hands
Okay.
and not just the thumbnail or not just the package.
Mhm.
And I do the same kind of thing like Caitlin does as far as the rules. I say, you know, you do have to be live. You have to join the live event in order to win. But if you can't come to the event, you're still welcome to order and help the hostess. You know,
Love
you just and put that link in there. So people are like, well, I can't come Thursday night or Friday night or whatever,
Yeah.
but I still want to help her. So you can
Right.
still order, you just can't play the game and you can't win.
Right.
And then when I go live, one of the times I actually had the hostess, because I'm just going live on Facebook in that event. It's a private event, but I've had the hostess join me because you can do 2 people on a Facebook Live. So I had the hostess ask to join. She has to ask to join the live, but there's a little
Okay.
button that you can change set on there. So she'll join and we just kind of talk for a little bit at the beginning, do, like I said, just a quick application, kind of finishing up and just chatting with her. And then we can see that her friends are joining in. And then she drops off and I just do the bingo part. And
Okay.
she's there commenting.
Nice. Which is great because you're holding that hostess accountable. Like you don't get a piece out. You need to show
Right.
up and be part of this process, which is going to
Mhm.
increase your sales and all that. Now, quick question for
Right.
you.
When their friends go live, you know, when Facebook, the
Yeah.
algorithm shows that somebody they know they're friends with is live
Mhm.
in an event that they've
Let
been
them know.
invited to, even if they didn't click yes, I'm going, they didn't even click maybe. I think if they clicked no, I'm not going, it doesn't show to them, but everybody else, it should show up in their newsfeed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure if they don't respond at all, it still shows up. Like if
It
they just
shows
don't
up.
put anything, it should still show up. Yeah.
That's a really good point. And then they're like, oh, there's my friend. And then
Right.
it's
Right.
probably titled, you know, Emily's bingo night or whatever. They're like,
Mhm.
again, what is this? You know, it's much more intriguing. Really quick question. When you create the event, you know, there's an option to say like live through Facebook. Do you click that button?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. It's just a live Facebook event is what it is.
And then
Okay.
you go live there because can you schedule when you do the live? I haven't done a Facebook live event, like setting it
I
up as a live event.
Yeah, when you set up a live Facebook event for a future day and time, it prompts you right before that, because you're the one who created it. It prompts you to go live.
And you can you go live on your phone or do you have to be on your computer? Does it matter?
I've been doing it on my phone.
Okay, good to know.
That's good.
What about, okay, so let me talk about how I hyped mine up and then we got to wrap it up. So for mine, I would just, for mine, I did this, plus I also pasted it into my new stylists VIP group that she had just started. So anytime, this is why it's good. It holds you accountable too. Cause I was like, hey, we're both going to do it the same night. I did mine the first half hour. She did hers the second half hour. So it helped me to like hype it up in my VIP group and then also in hers. So I would post the same stuff in mine and also in hers, just so that we were doing like some good marketing. So the first thing I did was a poll that said, I'm doing a fun bingo night on this night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Can you watch? And then I wrote some options that said yes. I set my alarm. One that said maybe. And one that said, sorry, I have plans. And so that's just having a poll kind of is a great way to keep people accountable. And then I did an event in my VIP group. I set up an event called Nail Bingo. And then I also had a GIF I did a post that said, who's excited about tonight's bingo night at yeah, at 7 p.m. And I said, show an excited gift below. And then I did another word. So you see how I'm using different formats, like one's a poll, one is an event, one was a GIF, and then one was a word. You know how Facebook, you can just like type in the words and have a Facebook background.
Right.
So this one just said, have you ever been to an in-person bingo game? And then it said, P.S. Our virtual bingo game is tonight at 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's important to clarify to people, especially in your VIP group, because we know that we struggle with it with like team trainings and stuff. So you know the customers are going to struggle with that too. Right. And then people commented and said, "Oh yeah." Anyway, so those are some of the ways that I hyped it up before the event. But I love the idea of Marsha, and I think do you do this too, Caitlin, where you have them pick their numbers in advance, because again, it's holding them accountable.
Yes.
It makes them a little more committed to show up.
Yep, absolutely. I do. That's what I have them comment on that graphic earlier in the day that I post. And then when I do the rules post later on in the afternoon, I make sure to remind them, if you have not chosen your numbers yet, then feel free to go back to my earlier post or comment them below. But then when I have those stragglers, because let's face it, there's always somebody that hops on your live that's like never there, never participates, and all of a sudden they're there. And it's like, hey, you're here. If you want to comment some numbers below, you can play bingo just for fun to win, no purchase necessary. And then bam, got caught, oh, cool, I'm in. Right. Here's my 5 numbers, So I never exclude anybody. I might have to say, if you hang around for a minute, you can come on the next round, but I try to never exclude anybody, because it's not only is it a potential silent member that might now start participating, but also it's always potential sales.
Yeah, I mean, you could just say, hey, I just noticed that, Amy hopped on. Amy, post your numbers so you can play the next round. So you're getting them committed to play the next round. But I think it is good to play like at least 2 rounds. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah, I always do at least 2.
All right, cool. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to say about this? Like, how have your parties been, Marsha? Like, what have been the numbers with your parties when you've done this?
They've been good. I had one party that she probably only did just a little under 200, and then she ordered the extra herself to boost it. And then, but most of them have been around that $300, $350.
That's mark, so great. So. I mean, think about it. That's a 30-minute party that's making around $300. Like, we all have 30 minutes we can find in our month, to either do a VIP live or to do a party like this. And have you been able to book parties from it pretty well, Marsha?
One of my parties, I didn't get anybody else from that party to book, but that was the one that was a little bit slower. But the next one I did get people to book off of it. And that's where I have one coming up this weekend that was from that second one I did.
So fun. Yeah, because they're seeing how fun and easy it is, Yeah,
like super easy. And it's pretty easy for us, but it's also easy for the hostess to just, it's an event, invite your friends and show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
This like pumps me up, because I'm like, I can easily, this sounds so much easier than, sometimes it's the mental energy, the mental heaviness of the idea of something. And so if something feels lighter, then try it out. And this feels just like a lighter, easier way to do a party. Like, oh, okay, I can hop on for 30 minutes and be in and out.
And there's lots of bingo boards in the graphics groups. If you don't want to make your own on Canva or whatever app you're using, there's lots of bingo boards in the different graphics groups to use.
That's where I got my
just
first
grab one. Yeah, I just tell everybody, grab one and try it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a great message to end on, is like, you got to give it a try. Yeah, your first party might, you might be scrambling. I was scrambling. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, pick 4 numbers.
Wing it. Let's go.
But then it turned out to be so fun. And it can become like a tradition that you really enjoy. And you can get these on Amazon, but you don't necessarily even have to use. What would you guys recommend if they don't have
Either A, not do it, or B, the website Wheel of Names is perfect for that. It's a colorful wheel and you can put in whatever you want for each line. And just, I did that when I did back in over Black Friday. I did the Wheel of Deals like Monica RC recommended.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a wheel at the time. So I just pulled up, I did it on my phone and I pulled up my Wheel of Names on my laptop. And that's what I did.
Yeah. I think
You could literally just have a bag that has some prizes in it and you just draw one out.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, okay, here's what I have. I have, 4 or 5 little things, a small lotion, some koozies, $1, $1 off a set, make little coupons and just stick them in a basket and draw a prize. You don't have to have it. Don't spend the money on a wheel if you don't want to.
This is wheelofnames.com. So you can literally add in the prize here, or like she said, choose from, pull it out of the bag. Or if you don't want to ship stuff like me, find cheap stuff that you can ship from Amazon.
Or use the prizes like free shipping, $1 off, $5 off your you buy 3 get 1 order, things like that.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of little stuff that I've ordered off of Amazon in bulk, for decent prices, or I'll hit up Dollar Tree and the Target dollar aisle. Those are my favorites. And I get all kinds of goodies out of those. And you don't even necessarily have to have a wheel, guys. You can just say, you don't got to spin even. Just, hey, this is what we're playing. And this is the prize for the night. Everybody who wins is going to get this.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, if you don't want to buy a bunch of different stuff, if you don't want to buy a wheel or don't want to do the wheel part, you don't have to. You can still do this. So don't let that be your blockade.
And one thing I want to ask is, so you guys had a sale, which you don't even necessarily have to have a sale. You guys sold the sets for like $9 to $10. Was it just like, would they just comment and say sold as you're showing them, or?
So how I did it, because I have the sticky notes just like you do on the back, but I do a small one and I put it on the front. And so I hold up the set. Yep. Just like that. And I'd call the number twice and then I would show off the set. I'd be like, this is called blah, blah, blah. Look at this glitter. I'd flip my camera around so that they can see, because the front facing or the back camera is always better clarity. And so I'd flip it around, show it off, and they just had to comment sold and the number on the sticky note. And that way I could keep track. And then I would just make a quick note, because I'll tell them if I have multiples or not of a set. And I'd make a quick note on the sticky note, their name. And just real small, because then we're going to play another round. And that way, if somebody else that's joined in later decides they want to buy it, then, I need to write their name too. So I know that I need to, that 2 people purchase this set.
Yeah. And if you don't want to, if you're like anti-shipping, you could just say, here's this, you can get it on the website. I lost my train.
Which is basically what Marsha does in the parties. Yeah.
For the parties. Yeah. I just have them order.
Yeah. This is what I was going to say, was make sure that whatever you're showing is available on the website. That's the thing I wanted to mention, is like, you don't want to be showing retired sets or stuff that's sold out, because that's just frustrating. So
no, for sure. I feel like you could, if you had a bunch of retires, like my girls are obsessed with retired sets. And so sometimes when I have some retires, I will do it for retail price, but then they get to spin the wheel and they get their hands on retired sets. And so that's when I do it just out of my inventory. And just to be clear, this is not available online and I only have 2, incite that FOMO,
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
That could be a fun bingo game for your VIP group, would you just retired sets?
Yeah, or even just like mixing in, having like one exclusive retired set per bingo game.
First one to comment gets it, right? Or
like that.
Fun.
Be fun.
Yeah, so many. There's just so many ideas we could go on.
Yes.
But so we want to just challenge you guys to try this in some way that feels fun for you. Do it in your VIP group. Do it with a new stylist you maybe enrolled recently, or do it as a party. Like, try one of these ways. I think you're gonna love it like we do. And so thank you so much, Marsha and Caitlin.
Thanks for having us.
Such a great idea, and I can't wait for everyone else to try it as well. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Goodbye.